Hey everybody, welcome to Geek Rant. Today, Toby and I are going to be reviewing the Andor trailer. Thanks for joining us today. We're going to review the trailer for Andor, the TV series that's going to be coming on Disney Plus in the next month or two. It's been out a little while, but it's kind of slipped by me, and I think that's going to be part of the theme of this one. Are people as interested in Andor as other Star Wars properties? The Obi-Wan got a lot of press and a lot of details. Yeah, so I was quite interested to see what this is going to look like, and I haven't seen it yet, so it's going to be nice to talk it through with Toby, watch it for the first time.
I'm slightly different angle on it than you, Greg, because I did watch it when it first came out.
Right. Yeah.
But I was kind of caught up with all the Obi-Wan stuff at the time, so I didn't really pay it too much attention.
Yeah.
I think to a certain extent, my mind was a little bit kind of sucked dry by Obi-Wan, and I didn't really want to absorb anything more about Star Wars in that moment. If you know what I mean? I was kind of like, am I gonna have to hold this off because it could be really shit, or is it going to be any good? I don't know. And when I heard it's about the main character in it is the thing I least liked about Rogue One.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. So I was like, oh god, am I going to be able to watch this? He's so anyway.
I thought I didn't mind his character. I thought he was quite a good character in Rogue One, and it wasn't necessarily the most standard character that they have. And also, there's a lot of talk about he's done some bad things in the past, and for me, maybe this could be a good revelation. We talked about Mandalorian in the past. It wasn't part of any of the other stories and that's creating a new character, creating a new start with something can be a good thing, maybe set in the same world. So I'm a bit hopeful.
Yeah, I'm an eternal glutton for punishment, so we'll just have to see.
Yeah, exactly I'm the optimist that gets thrashed down by episode 3. Okay.
Yeah, we'll see.
Right, let's give it a go then. Okay, here we go.
Go ahead. Okay. I think he's going to hit it.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. That looks like quite a solid thing to hit, if you ask me.
Definitely. Oh, okay. Is this him a kid? What's that? Something's on fire.
It's more of a primitive species.
Interesting robot. This is definitely going to be one of those ones where it just flashes past with images, isn't it? That's him as a young man, probably. There's something coming.
That's a good point.
Those look like wow, stormtroopers.
They're so proud of themselves, so fat and satisfied.
Some classic uniforms.
Yes.
Strong female lead running there.
They're everywhere.
Oh, and a baddie.
Strong female baddie.
They're watching me now.
Oh, Mon Mothman.
Yeah, Mon Mothman.
And it again.
She's awesome.
Soon enough,
Kind of
these days will end.
Oh, Stellan Skarsgård. He's good.
Yeah.
There will be no rules going forward.
Well, I quite like the look of those corridors.
Yeah. Well, I can feel it.
People
Well, that's the Senate.
are standing up. That's what a reckoning sounds like.
Interesting. August 31st. Wow. Okay.
More trailers to follow, no doubt.
Okay, well, that looked interesting. It's quite a difficult one to talk about, isn't it? Because there's a lot sort of snippets, very small snippets,
like very quick.
Like a teaser trailer.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know many of the characters, do we? There's not much to sort of say about You know, we know
Yeah.
Mon Mothman's in there. She's obviously being. She says there, "I'm being watched," and you know
Yeah.
that's
Genevieve O'Reilly. I
yes,
thought she was excellent as Mon Mothma.
yeah,
I thought that she was one of the few classy elements that's come out of the new
yes.
generation of Star Wars.
She's
So
got a
it's
sort of
intriguing.
she's got a sort of elegance about her, isn't she? And she's got a
She
way
really
of
has.
seeming like she could be in command. You know,
Yeah.
she comes across as quite well. You know, sort of holds herself well. You know, and I could believe her in that role as someone who's going to start off a rebellion, aren't they? The alliance.
Exactly.
You know,
And you can see, I think, with the original Rogue One, they used that what Mon Mothma had said at the meeting.
Yes,
when went on New Hope, you know, that they got that message. She passed that message on, didn't she, to the pilots, in that meeting. And I think that they're still riding the wave of that with this particular storyline, because that is still tied into the reason why Rogue One became what it was, and how she's going to be like a backbone, I think, to the whole show. Probably obviously be there throughout the thing, because she's not going to die, because we know she makes it through to the New Hope, so she'll be there. Hopefully they don't overdo it, but I think she's a great actress. And absolutely. Of course it then leads, and then the main story is about Cassian Andor, isn't it?
Yes, Cassian Andor. Yeah. So I think this is set something like 4 or 5 years before Rogue One. So it gives them potentially 3 or 4 or 5 seasons that they can shoot if it goes well. I was impressed. It looked like they built some great sets, and they got some great looking characters, outfits. You know, it seems to be well stocked, you know, with props and things like that. There was a lot of different characters, a lot of different uniforms, you know.
I thought that they're obviously, they've picked some kind of tropical location to shoot a lot of it on, which I quite enjoy. I mean, that's quite nice. I guess that probably does cut back on the costs if they can shoot quite a bit in the forest, say. But you know, there's a history of that within Star Wars. What did you think of do you think, because you said while we watched it that you thought there were images of Cassian as a child?
I that looked to me there was a couple of snippets there, wasn't there? The bit where you saw all those sort of they were all down by the river, and they stood up and they looked at that young child, and I wondered, could that have been him as a child? But then there was a bit where you saw a village, and a young sort of 14, 15-year-old kid was being sort of pushed around by the dad, you know, and raising the alarm. And I mean, in Rogue One, he talks about, doesn't he, that I've been doing this, you know, when he has a bit of a go at the main girl, I can't remember what name was now, but he says to her, you know, look, I've been doing this my whole life, you know, this has been part of my, you know, what I've had to fight this forever, you know, so don't start, you know, giving me all this. I've had to do bad things, you know. And I'm hoping that this is his going to be a bit of reviewing back. They like a few, you know, flashbacks. Of what's happened in his past. I'm wondering if some of these bits at the beginning were his past, and then he's going to bring him into the future of joining up with Mon Mothman and becoming an agent, you know, to go in and do these sort of destructive things against the Empire, you know.
I think it's a trope that can work really well. I mean, if you look at something like The Witcher, that really messes with the timeline in the first season, doesn't it? So it confuses you as to when things are happening.
That's right. Yeah.
It'd be nice to think that they might actually do something that's a little bit more complicated like that, and have characters from the past that we then see in the present of the film, in a sense, short time before Rogue One, as you were saying. So it would be nice if they did that. I think it's always interesting to see how the Empire's oppression of planets is played out. I've always found that as personally quite an interesting thing, you know, with the Clone Wars and stuff like that. And I've always found how the native groups of people, how they've evolved and changed as a result of having the Empire there on their planet is interesting, because it throws up it throws up the chance of rebellion. This is what we want. We want to see this aggression against the Empire.
Yeah, well, it looks, you can see there's a bit where you see the Senate, isn't there? And obviously the chance that Palpatine is going to be there as ruler. There's obviously a hugely established Empire power. You see on I presume it's Coruscant, where they've got you saw those lifts coming down and all those sorts of things. And it was that there was a big tunnel that was sort of hanging. Everything suspends in midair in Star Wars, where they had all those people. Do you think they could have been clones that were being cloned?
I don't know. There's definitely a lot of movement like that.
I was trying to sort of gauge whether that was suggesting the power of the Empire, and he's maybe going in to disrupt some of that.
I think what we might see is the mobilization of a lot of what the Empire becoming. But they'll probably try and get that across somehow in the show. But so we could have some quite extremes, seeing these troops being mobilized, and then quite kind of primitive stuff back on the planet. So that might be quite nice to have a bit of a
and it looks like they do obviously attack these places, come down, the troops come down, take over these places, occupy them. That's probably where he's going to develop his hate of the Empire. I'm getting more excited about this one than I thought I would be.
I know it's dangerous. It's
got potential. For me, I'm glad that there isn't a main character from the original series as such in it, that they can damage the timeline or come up with some sort of new story for their background which doesn't fit in or makes the canon a bit crap. This can be different people, different characters that develop the universe, without damaging anything. It can be quite small things that they do. It doesn't have to be earth-shattering, we're going to destroy a Death Star or something. It can just be quite simple stuff, like in The Mandalorian, that first series, it was him. He captured a few people, he found the baby, didn't he? And it was stuff like that, so it wasn't.
I think with that one, I guess I kind of view The Mandalorian more like a Western.
Yes.
Whereas this one, I think, is more like a spy thriller adventure type setup.
Yeah, which would be cool as well, which could be really cool. There could be a lot more sort of sneaking about, doing and that's always works quite well in Star Wars, when they got a bit of that sort of sneak about, sabotage something, few little missions, develop the character.
I think it's good when you get a sort of darkness to the scene, dark undercurrents. Well, I think.
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
So
when you're up against the odds, when the character's up against the odds, that's always a good thing, isn't it? Definitely.
Taking down the bigger baddies, the giant slaying element to it, which is always fun.
Yeah. And I know there'll be stories that they'll want to sort of or links they'll want to put, like how he meets the robot 2KSO, how they meet perhaps, but there was no sign of him in this one, so it could be a case that he's not actually in this, which would be good, because we don't always have to keep tying everything back to everything all the time. We need some fresh stuff, don't we, that's its own story. It doesn't damage anything else. It's a big enough universe, isn't it, in Star Wars?
That's it. We were saying this with Obi-Wan, weren't we?
Yeah.
We needed other characters. Potentially we've got other characters. I know, that we got Mon Mothma. In fact, I'm quite interested in finding out about Mon Mothma and her background a bit more. I think that would be quite interesting. And that won't necessarily be breaking with anything in the main Star Wars either, because we didn't know anything about her, did we?
She wasn't like a main,
exactly.
just here and there, and that's great.
Yeah. I think it does all pivot on Diego Luna as Cassian. And I think that if he doesn't carry it off, we could be in trouble to a certain extent with this show. I just think it's that straightforward. If it's another Book of Boba Fett where we find the lead can't can't lead,
it
then
doesn't look like
that could. I hope not. And
the style of it, the style of it, and the setup.
My mind's open.
Doesn't look like it, you know.
But I didn't particularly think he was that great in Rogue One, to be honest. And now that's probably a controversial opinion, but I personally didn't like him as a.
I thought he was fine. You know, I thought he was fine. I preferred Felicity Jones's character and what she was doing, and that sort of thing. But I thought he was fine. You know, he was what he was, wasn't he? He was a captain. He was ordered to do certain things, and but he obviously had a difficulty with it. You know, he was instructed to go and kill her dad, wasn't he, the scientist, and he didn't do it in the end because he couldn't do it, you know, and then came back and had that sort of wrangling with his morals and all that sort of thing. So I think he can flesh him out more. They can make him more of a character. I think it will certainly be something of interest. Yeah, definitely.
It is, and it's funny that obviously that it seems like Disney's backing it, because apparently some of the most recent stuff saying that they've already started with season 2. So
right.
Yeah, so it looks like, you know, they're backing this particular show, which is good. I don't know how they decide stuff like this, whether it's to do with feedback from viewings or I don't know how they do it, but it looks like there is more to come. This show, even though
that's
we haven't
hopeful, isn't it?
That's season. Yeah, that is hopeful. Yeah, that is good.
Great. Okay. Well, we're looking forward to that. That's coming in a few weeks' time in August, I think it was, end of August. So it's not long at all. Something to look forward to. And obviously, you know, we want people to subscribe. If you like what we're doing, press the like button. Give us any comments. What do you think? Is Diego Luna going to be able to carry this one, or is it going to be another dismal failure? Let us know what you think. And in the meantime, thanks very much. Cheers. Bye.